Hello, you're on the Cambridge Rag with James Lewis, author of Poison, A Doctor's Dilemma. Hello?
How you doing?
Good.
Well, I was calling to make a, to ask a question. Also,
What's your name,
tell
sir?
that gentleman there, he's a pretty smart gentleman, very wise man.
This guy?
Because he knows that a psychologist, there's no medical.
All right, dude. I'm sorry. He was like, sorry, dude. You gotta like.
Well,
I think they're like smoking marijuana, and it's fine, but it just makes people so dull. And do you smoke weed? You ever do that?
No, never have.
You've never done any drugs?
Never have.
You were a hippie at one point, weren't you? No, I bet you weren't.
Don't think so.
Were you ever Were you ever in the military? Ever drafted or anything like that?
No, I was not.
Okay. But you were around in the '60s, and you missed all the hippies and the free love and all that.
Considering I'm now 63, I must have been around in the 60s.
I guess that's true. And you never
I'm still around in my 60s.
That's true. You never went to Woodstock and everything like that?
Never even knew about it until after it was
too late. You're on the Cambridge Rag.
How you doing?
Good.
Listen, I'm not on drugs.
All right, dude, you're off my show. That's all that matters. I don't care if you're on drugs, just as long as you're not on my show. That seems fair enough.
So
you want to wrap it up, Jim? All right, Jim. Why should we read your book?
Oh, why should you read the book? I've thought about that question. I knew you were going to ask it, and
why do we give a shit that you wrote a book called Poison? And don't you think that that's kind of a...
Because you and everyone lives in an environment where it's dangerous. There are dangers out there in just walking across the street. In this particular case, the water aquifers contained poison which people innocently drank when they went to their wells.
And why would you feel compelled, being accused of being a mass murderer who used cyanide to poison people, be compelled to put the word poison to make your book about poison? I think that's a legitimate question.
This book has absolutely nothing to do with
why wouldn't you
poison.
write about puppies?
This book is totally fiction. It has nothing to do with any of the controversies that have been swirling around.
Okay, what if OJ wrote a book about knives or like decapitation? Don't you think that would be?
I don't know a thing about that, and I've never met OJ, so I could never say.
Well, don't you think that's like a kind of a, I think that's kind of a, it's not ironic, it's kind of in a sick way, like that might, don't you think that, you think this is completely fine that you named the book Poison?
This book is dealing with the tragedies that occurred in rural America, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the incident in Chicago, which in 1982.
And if you ever want to write a book with me, what would our book be about? Any idea?
Well, we haven't really discussed that.
Jim said he wanted me to write a book with me, which would be very flattering, which I would be very happy to do. But of course, I'd want something a little,
we've been banding it around, but we don't know yet what we would...
I know what I want to write a book about.
What?
I want to write a book about how someone can get into his car or train from New York to Chicago and put cyanide all over the place and then come back to New York and get away with it. That's what I want to write a book about, how it was possible.
Well,
you're on the Cambridge Rag.
We'll make it up.
Well, that's what I need help with. Can you help me with that part of it?
I don't have any idea. I couldn't help you on that one.
You're sure of that? And
absolutely certain.